Hey everybody, it's Strict9 with Strict9 GP, and welcome back to another episode of my Out of the Park Baseball version 20 playthrough with the Phillies. So last episode we finished the spring, and we are at opening day. Opening day in the majors, but it's probably going to be a week or so before we play our first game. We had a surprisingly good spring. I'm say surprising based on that off season we had. We did wind up having the best record in the National League East. But I've said many times, for what it's worth, spring doesn't really mean everything. I would prefer, though, to start out winning early, even in the spring, early in the spring, than not. So at least we're playing pretty good for the most part right now. But I'll take a look at a couple of things that I like to look at before we start the season, and then we'll get going and sim through maybe the first month of the season and see how we start out. So the first thing I look at, and I know this isn't really an indicator of much, but the preseason predictions, I think, are at least a good idea of how the AI thinks of your team. And you know, if you're not looking good from the preseason predictions, you might just kind of set yourself up for having to be active on the waiver wire, those kind of things, free agency. If you look great, then mainly you just want to maintain. Or if you start going south, if your record starts going south, maybe you can start adjusting early. But I just like the snapshot view it gives you of the best teams and performers. So I always take a look at it. So we'll start with the American League. Baltimore looks like they're going to have a good year. Looks like that Central is going to be pretty tight between three teams here. Cleveland and Kansas City tied for the best record. And then Seattle winning in the West. They're the team that beat us in the World Series last year. And then individual performances, Dull, guy from Texas who had a really good year last year, hit over 400. The first time I've seen that in a playthrough in a long time, especially using the modern baseball settings. He's expected to have another good year. Medina, guy's been around for a while. He's still performing. He's a 5-star player at 36, so he might be working his way up to a Hall of Fame caliber finish. Let's see if there's anybody else here I recognize. Some newer guys. Granda, though, he's been around for a while. Well, no, he hasn't. I'm sorry. I was thinking of another player. But the Yankees, they have a lot of home run hitters on that team. Pitching, Rocky Stroman has been around. He's expected to have another good year. Don't recognize anybody else there in the list. But now in the National League, the predictions are not too favorable for us. We're expected to finish in second behind Atlanta. But Atlanta's not going to have that great of a season either to win the division. But with that record, that would push us out of the playoffs based on these predictions. They expect Chicago to have just a monster year, and Arizona, who have they've been really good the last few seasons. They're expected to win the West. I'm surprised San Francisco's down here because they were good last year. They've got a good pitching staff. They made some good moves in the offseason. I'd be surprised if this isn't a little bit more closer between Arizona and San Francisco. Then individual performances, Suzuki, one of the reasons Arizona's so good, he's going to have another good year. Howard in Arizona expected to have another good year. No Phillies showing up on that list offensively. I'm not too surprised by that. For the pitching side, they're expecting Parker to have another decent year, but surprisingly, Thompson's not showing up on this list. Zach Thompson, who's coming off his really stupendous rookie season last year, he's not showing up here. So hopefully he can have a better season than they're expecting. A former Philly is also shown up here for Chicago. A guy I traded. He was a reliever primarily for me. I traded him to Chicago for who did I trade him for? Warlick. So that was absolutely the best pickup I had last season. I mean, I think that was what kind of propelled us that second half of the season. But he's expected to have a good year. And one other thing I like to look at too is the minor league system rankings. We are struggling for sure right now. We're kind of we've been in that free agency trading mode for the last few years, and we've been winning. So three straight National League East division titles. Our draft picks are low. We're not really picking up those great prospects that we need. So we're all the way down here in 27th with only two guys showing up on the top 100. Shortstop or third baseman here, who is going to be at Lakewood, the Class A team this year. He's looking pretty good, and I think OSA thinks he's potential 4-star as well as my scout does. So he's got a really good potential. And then this pitcher here, who's currently at AA, he has looked good the last few seasons in the minors, especially last year. It was a great year at Lakeland. So I'm hoping that he might develop into a number 4, number 5 pitcher. OSA's ratings, though, on this guy, a potential 20 stuff, 16 control. He's got 3 very strong pitches. He may even develop better than I'm thinking, so that's a good sign. And let me look. I think he's not injury prone at the moment, so that's good. So in terms of where we're at on this team, I had a couple of things that I had to do that I didn't really want to, but taking a look at the pitching staff, it's going to be where it was last year. Thompson is going to be in that second spot. I kind of debated putting him lower, but Barbarossa is not looking as good as he was. Contreras, honestly, Contreras looks really good right now. Ken Dion, those guys look pretty good. And I think, now that's OSA's ratings. Let me see what my head scout still thinks Barbarossa is a 3-star pitcher. I'm hoping that he's accurate. The one thing that's going to be something I'm going to have to pay attention to is this bullpen. It's not as strong as I had hoped going into the season. Mendoza, he's lost some ratings. He's a 3-star pitcher now, coming off his best year as a closer. I don't know that he's in his. He's got 2 more years to go, so he might eventually. Depends on how he starts. I may have to move him down to a setup role or middle relief, and let this guy I signed in the offseason just let him take over the closer role. But he hasn't pitched at all yet, so I want to give him some time just to see what kind of pitcher he's going to be. In terms of the lineups, I did make a move to send down that center fielder I was talking about. I really think he's got a chance to take over from Hobbs. Hobbs is in his not Hobbs, Bond. Bond is in his last year with the team. But I'd rather he play at the moment. He's still young, and it's this guy right here, Benefield. He's still young. I want to give him at least one more year at AAA, and then we'll see how he goes. I'd like to see his eye and discipline get better. He's going to strike out a lot, and that's going to be really hold him back, if nothing else. So I want to give him some time. But injury, we got one pitcher, Mike Morrison, who's about to come off. He's kind of been my lefty specialist for the most part, but he's really good lefty or righty as far as the split goes. I'm probably going to have to bring him up when he's off, but I don't know who I'll replace here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I go with 12 pitchers. I'd like to stay that way. So Josh Dean might be the guy that I have to send down, and he's got a couple option years left, so that shouldn't be a big deal. But let's go ahead and get started. And so he's already ready to go. So I'm going to send Dean down to AAA. And let's see, Mike Morrison. I think I want him as a setup. And maybe a specialist if it comes to that. He's the only lefty I have in that bullpen. That's something I typically don't like to go with. But at the moment, that's probably what I've got to do. Murdoch Ings, Unfortunately, I didn't have a place for him, and he is a lefty pitcher as well. And I put him on waivers, and no team picked him up. I was kind of surprised. So he's going to be available in case of injury. May have to call him back up, but he's going back down to AAA for now. And then that should be the team. Hopefully, we have no major injuries happen early in the season. So we're going to be starting out against Los Angeles. I don't know if that's going to be the Angels or the Dodgers. Let me see. Yep, it's the Dodgers. So first game here at home, 1-0 win, but in 11 innings. 2 hits for Los Angeles, just 5 hits for us. Gutierrez 3 for 4. Eubanks drove in the winning run. This is the thing that I'm really paying a lot of attention to, is how he's going to perform as a starter. So Parker looked good. Hadakiyama, first game, he looked awesome. So that's a good sign. I wish Parker could have gotten the win, though. Game 2, 3-2. Not much hitting going on. Just 2 hits in the game, but we managed to score 3 runs. Thompson was solid through 7, got the win. Now game 3 against Los Angeles, 4-2, again in 11 innings. Gutierrez got the hot bat coming out to start the season. He's about the only player hitting for us right now. He's 4 for 5 in this game. Barbarossa didn't get the win, but he looked good. And then game 4 against Los Angeles, can we sweep? And we do, 7-3. May have gotten our offense going. So Tupper, a good game, 3 for 4, 3 RBIs. Gutierrez still hitting 2 for 5, hitting 500 for the season. Then Kian Dion got the win, 7 innings. Our starters are going deep. Every starter so far has gone at least 6 innings, and 3 of them have gone 7, so that's a good start. So we're 4-0 to start the season. We're in April. First player development update coming up, and a couple things here, don't look so good right off the bat. Barbarossa, my scouts got him down to 2.5 at the moment. I may have to move him down in place of Dion in that rotation. Alvarado, I'm going to give him a little bit of a chance here. He's another guy who I don't like that he's got 2 pitches, and one of them, the fastball, is not that strong. So I don't know really how good he's going to be. Eubanks looks like he's, I don't know. I think that's about where he was. Barajas, the guy I picked up in the offseason as a backup, he's not looking too good. And then a lot of guys losing some things here, but then I'm not seeing any of my Eric George took a hit to a few ratings there. He's another guy I'm planning on being a big part of this team in a few years. So, not too much going on. Sergio Ramos, he's currently at my New York Penn League. It's like the low A league. He might have a chance long term. I think he's got some pretty good individual ratings. We'll see. And then just some guys down there way in the low minors. Not much going on there, though, in that first report. So players of the week, Joe Howard for Arizona and Valverde for Toronto. And we are second, tied with Arizona in the power rankings. And now we're going to go up against New York. And this is the Mets, and we're still at home, so that's good. Game 5, we are 5-0, 5-4 win here. Quartang coming off the bench, looking pretty good there in this game. Contreras, first kind of shaky pitching performance we've had, and he's injured already. Mendoza got his second save. Can't really afford to lose Contreras. I haven't looked at the waiver wire too much. Free agents, I don't know if there's any starters now. There's no starters left, so we would be in trouble if he's gone for the season. Win again, 2-1. Tupper, another home run. Parker did not get the win once again. 6 strong innings. Mendoza got the win. Hadakiyama the save. So we're 6-0 to start the season. Now we finally lose 2-9. And this was Zach Thompson. So he did not have a good game. 3 2/3 innings, 7 runs. Hopefully he'll bounce back from that. And now Contreras is going to be out for 5 to 6 weeks. That's unfortunate because he's really, man, his ratings are not that bad. He's a good mid to low rotation starter. So that's going to put me in a little bit of a bind. We're playing the Nationals our first. I don't know. New York may have been a bit bigger test than the Nationals, so there's nobody on the waiver wire. So I've got Alfaro, who is kind of a minor league free agent, looks like. I've got Ings, Rowe, another guy. I think I may give. They're starting Dean. I'm not sure why. I may just give Ings a chance here in that 5th spot and see what he does. Would be good to have a lefty pitcher in there. We don't have too many. All right, so on the road against Washington, first game, we win 5-2. That's a good game for us. Bond, Pritchard 4 for 5 in this one. I haven't really paid much attention to him, but our offense has started out really cold. Barbarossa had a good game. Hadakiyama got the save here. And now game 2 against Washington, 8-13. Offense did pretty good, but man, pitching, Ken Dion, 3 innings, 6 runs. DeCluet, Morrison, really bad outing there for our pitchers. And now game 3, we lose 3-4 in 11. So Tupper having a good start, hitting 300 with 3 home runs. Warlick, though, hitting 154. That's unexpected. Lockhart struggling off the bench. Norman struggling. Ings did not look bad here. 6 innings, just 3 earned runs, but bullpen, Morrison off to a bad start. He blew it in the extra innings. Now going back over the news here, Kostinko, a big player there for Boston. He's going to be out for a while. Players of the week, Azadian for Houston in the American League, Lanier for Washington in the National League. And power rankings, we're down a little bit. We're down to 6th. Standings, we are 7-3. Still leading the league, but 10 games. That's not much to go on. Pete Parker looking good so far. Still hasn't gotten a win, though. And then waiver wire, nothing there. Wow. All right, so now we got Pittsburgh on the road. Let's see what they look like. Hey, and here's Ma, former Philly, off to a 20-game hitting streak. He's looking good. This guy, he's had a fairly decent career since he joined the league. I mean, some injury problems here and there, but he's really productive. And Pittsburgh 4-6, but we're on the road. This will be a good series to get back on track. And we lose 3-0 to start it off. Offense really struggling. Parker lost the game, but he didn't pitch too badly. And then game 2, 5-12. Still some struggles in that offense. Still some struggles with Zach Thompson. Not sure what's going on with him. He's now a 4-star rated pitcher for my scout, but he's off to a really poor start. And we lose 1-2, so they swept us, and we're down to 7-6, just 1 game over 500. Vega not doing too well either in his second season. Offense, just 6 hits, 1 run in this game. Barbarossa pitched a good game, but Morrison might be having some troubles this year. He might be getting to the end of his career. He's at 35, coming off that injury. He's been really good the last couple years, but he's off to a poor start. And we've got Miami coming up. We need to really get on track here. And they are at 7-4. They're currently first place. All right, let's get back going here. And we finally win 4-3, but big news here. We're going to lose Bond. Bond had a pretty decent game here, 2 for 4. Tuck came off the bench and had a good game. Ken Dion was strong, 6 innings, just 2 earned runs. Mendoza picked up his 3rd save. But losing Bond may hurt us for a little bit. And looking at the waiver wire, not much there. But I think I'm going to have to bring up not Villalobos right now, but I think Benefield is going to get the starts at least for against lefties. Plays him like every fifth game. Tuck has some good defense, and he's really good against righties. Now, looking at the batting stats, though, I've got Pritchard batting second. I'll give him some time, but he's off to a slow start. These guys, Eubanks is struggling. Gutierrez is playing good, but against lefties, is Hobbs the guy to go with here in center? Yeah, I think we'll have to put Hobbs there. Now, Hobbs has great speed. Yeah, I think I'm going to switch it up a little bit. And I think I'm going to put Eubanks up there. And all right, so I think I'm going to put Benefield in there to run off the bench against lefties. And let him start against righties. I'll keep him in that leadoff spot for now. And then against lefties, we'll have him pinch running a little bit, and then put Hobbs in there in the start. All right, let's see if that holds us out for a while. So I did look at that. Nope. Yeah, I did look at that game. All right, so game 2 against Miami. Oh, a big win, 11-0. That's kind of when we needed. Good offense here from Pritchard, Gutierrez, Warlick finally. Tupper, 3 more RBIs. He's off to a really good start. And then Ings, complete game shutout. He was ready. I think he was ready to go. So, we have won the series. Let's see if we can sweep them. And we do, a 4-3 win. That's a good way to end it. But gets us back on track. Warlick 2 for 5. Hopefully he's starting to hit. Gutierrez averages up pretty good this year. And Parker finally got his first win. Mendoza, his 4 saves, so he's on his typical pace. So that's not bad. Now, we've got a trade proposal here. Pitcher for Gutierrez, and I just said it before, I cannot lose Gutierrez right now. Players of the week, Matos, Markham, and then rankings, we are back to 6th place, 10-6. We're leading the East. Here's a pretty good looking starting pitcher, but he's fragile. But yeah, I'd go with him, in a pinch. Probably better than. And Miami's trying to pick him up. He's better than Ings rated wise, but Miami's going to have the claim over him, over us. All right, so now we're going to be playing St. Louis, still at home, 6-5. Got a lot of one-run wins here. Benefield, his first start, looks good. Or maybe that's his second start. 2 for 4. Pritchard hitting well. Gutierrez, 4 RBIs in this game. Thompson didn't get the win, but he looked a little bit better. Morrison, though, 2 runs in this game. Not sure what's going on with him. Game 2, 1-2. Pitching, it's been all over the place. Barbarossa, a pretty decent game. Bullpen looked pretty good, but game 3 looks like it's a rain out, so we didn't get to play. And now looks like we got Atlanta coming up, but we're at home. We're starting out at home with a lot of these teams, I've noticed, it seems like anyway. So we got 3 against Atlanta. First game, we win 6-5. Warlick, finally, I think he's starting to hit. 3 for 4, 3 runs, 2 RBIs. Vega, 2 for 4, may have picked up his 3rd home run. Tupper off to a pretty decent start. His average is not that great, but power and production's there. And Dion did not get the win. He looked good here. I don't think he's gotten a win yet. Yeah, one win. Uh, and Hadekayama, his worst outing so far. But Mendoza, 5th save. Pretty good outing for him. Game 2 against Atlanta, 4-2. Another good win. So we won this series. Tupper, 3 for 4, drove in 2. Ings did not get the win, but he looked good. 6 strong innings. Mendoza got the win in relief. And then game 3 against Atlanta, 7-1. So we're back playing strong again. 14-7. 1.5 games up over Washington, 2 over Miami. And Vega drove in a couple. Benefield, 3 for 4. Parker, did he get a win? He did. His 2nd win of the year. That puts him on pace now for double digits, finally. So, weekly news. We got American League Players of the Week. Not familiar with that guy. Otmar Ottman and Danny Baird for the Cubs in the National League. Man, this is a good-looking player. Looks like his first full season, and he's going to be a really good player. And now we look at team rankings. We're 4th. And standings-wise, we've got best record in the East, but it's tight. Milwaukee looking good. Colorado, surprisingly, leading Arizona. I don't know if Colorado's going to keep that up. And then in the National League, Kansas City off to a good, or American League, Kansas City off to a good start. That 22-game hitting streak, he's looking really good for Tampa Bay. On pace for 62 home runs. That's amazing. Zach Owenby. Haven't seen his name in a while, but he is still pitching and really, for the most part, doing okay. He's 37. He's a 3.5-star pitcher. Still has that great stuff. Good movement. He's over 3,000 strikeouts now for his career. So pretty decent career from this guy. All right, so checking the waiver wire, although with our record, it's going to be hard to pick up anybody. So we've got Kansas City coming up on the road. That's not going to be easy. Let's see how it looks. So they're about the same record. They're the same record as we are. Man, this could be tough. All right, game 1. It's just 2 games though. Game 1, we lose 2-4, and Pritchard, he's starting to hit a little bit. He's got some power too. I didn't expect that. But Thompson took the loss. He's really struggling so far. 6 walks in this game. And then game 2 against Kansas City, 10-8. Big offensive game for us. Pritchard, Warlick, Tupper at 18. Yeah, he's on pace for 120 plus RBIs. Eubanks is struggling, and I plan on re-looking at this lineup after this first month, and I may have to get more of a platoon situation going with Eubanks. Let's see how his splits are. He's terrible against lefties. That's unexpected. All right, so we got Miami on the road, though. They are probably hoping to pay us back for that last series with them, but it's 4 games. First game, we lose 2-3. I hate losing those kind of games because we're just, we're so close. Game 2 against Miami, 1-2. That's even worse. Offense struggling here, just 5 hits in the game. Ings did not pitch bad, so he's definitely been okay since we had to call him up. Game 3, finally a 6-0 win. Keeps us a game and a half over Miami. Pritchard now really starting to turn it on. Let's see what he's done. This week hitting 381, was hitting 333 last week, so that's pretty good. Ian Norman, average up pretty high, but no power still. Parker, his 3rd win. ERA down to 142. Good start for him so far. I'm liking that. And I hope, let me look at that pitching staff. I'm going strict order. I don't know why it's got that, but I may have screwed that up. So I should have a 5-man rotation with, on occasion, rest start the highest arrested starter. Yeah, so it hasn't really impacted it too much. All right. So 6-0, and now game 4 against Miami. So we split the series pretty good. That was ended with 2 shutouts too. Gutierrez, another good game. He's really looking good so far. Thompson, finally a great performance from him. 8 shutout innings. Morrison, good outing too from him. All right, so looking at the news, I think we had a trade proposal here from Toronto. A pitcher for Gutierrez. Is this what they did earlier? I can't do that. And then Players of the Week, American League. Altman again. This guy's off to a great start. And Ian George for the Dodgers. Power rankings, we are 4th. Still pretty competitive start to the division so far, and we got Kansas City again. Ian Fleming, who is this guy? Let me check. That may have been a low. John Fleming, sorry. He's out for 3 months. That kind of sucks for him. All right, so we got Kansas City, 2 games, and then we'll probably take a look at the end of the month, and that might be it for this episode. We lose the first one 2-3. Still a couple games over Washington, but Barbarossa looking pretty good so far. I mean, his ERA is at 2.23, but for whatever reason, he's given up a lot of home runs, though, 7 so far. So last game, and then we'll look at the 3-7. Not good. So we're 17-12. We're still a couple games over, but all right. So let's look at the batters of the month. Ottman, no surprise there for Baltimore in the American League. Joe Howard in the National League. He's a good young player. Gonna have probably a good career if he stays healthy. Pitchers of the month, Juan Mora for Kansas City. And this guy's been around for a while and putting together a good start. Nichols, closer at Colorado, might be one of the reasons they're having such a good start. Rookies of the month, Dakota Gibson at Houston and Arturo Padilla at Washington. This is a good-looking young player. Well, he was probably an international free agent. All right, so after that first month, not too bad in some cases. It was mainly that first, 6 games we won to start the season, 6 games in a row. Other than that, we haven't really played that great. Got some problems here offensively. Double digits, or in terms of where we rank. We're home runs. I've kind of given up on that, but we're low in base on balls and extra base hits. We got to get a little bit more offense generated. Pitching, that bullpen is struggled, but I think that was probably early on in the season. Guys like Morrison, DeCluet, they were struggling early. At least I hope so anyway. But we're going to have to be on our toes the rest of the season. It's not going to be easy. I'll probably look at doing a little bit more platooning here between Eubanks and Barajas. Eubanks just has not looked good. But Barajas I don't think he's the kind of guy you can start every game either. So I don't know if Lockhart might be I don't know. Lockhart is never, he's really struggling too. He has never been one that's impressed me enough to make him a full-time starter. But we're going to have to do something here offensively. We got some cold players. I mean, guys hitting 160, 175 in the starting lineup. It's not going to keep it going for long. Benefield, however, off to a good start. I like what he's showing. So he might be able to keep his place. I may have to call down Hobbs or Tuck when I just drew a blank, but Bond, when Bond comes off. All right, so that's how it looks so far. We'll probably go through offline, get through the draft, and come back post draft and play to the All-Star break, and hopefully we'll keep our lead. But we're gonna have to start playing a little bit better as a team, I think, to do that. But as always, thanks for watching, liking, subscribing. Hope you enjoy it, and I will see you next episode.